Hi, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording, and this is my second video with the Native Instruments Machine Plus. I have learned a lot since the last video, and here's some of the stuff that I have been making on it since we last talked. So the main thing that I learned is how Machine deals with clips, scenes, and patterns and stuff like that. So each one of these little things right here is called a group, and that's where you load up your sounds, and you can load up kits, you can have multiple things on each group, you can make an entire track in one group if you wanted. So the first thing we need to do is make a pattern. So I think I'm going to make sort of like a chill wave thing, synthwave thing, and I'm going to find some local samples to start this off as my hook.
Hand me that.
I like these two things right here. So we're going to load this one to the first pad, go back in, load up a second pad, and load this one. Cool, let's go back into the events and let's select all and then select, and now we can change our velocity. So I'm going to make this like 101 Dalmatians. Let's make our bass line next, I think, or some chords. I don't know. I think let's do some chords. So let's go into piano keys. Actually, let's go to pad. And let's go to, I guess, basic. Yeah, basic, sure. How to basic. I'm going to load that up. I like this sound quite a bit. Keyboard. We know we're in minor. So let's go to minor for right now. And let's go into the sound. And we're going to find attack. So there's envelope 1, envelope 2. There we go. So this is one of the things that I kind of don't like about Machine, is that they have given us these amazing synths, massive FM8, reactor, some other stuff, and we have this like series. We have 16 pages of things that we can go in and adjust. And if this was, I guess, any other ecosystem, like if this was like an Akai thing that I had like just kind of picked up and didn't know very well, I guess I'd be like, you know what, this is fine. This is a lot of stuff to play with. But the fact of the matter is, I know Massive and I know FM8, and having only like this as my way to interact with things, as opposed to being able to make sounds from scratch on the fly with an engine like this, is something that I don't really like about this. For instance, like if we were to go to plus, actually, let's see what happens when we load up FM8 Massive on here. So we get a blank sound. This is a little diversion, but I'm curious. So nothing will be assigned to our macros. What all can we do? So I don't see how to basically like make a sound from scratch. And I think that that's kind of disappointing. I'd love to be able to do like polyphonic sounds from scratch. And we have the bass engine. So, if we go to internal here, we have bass synth, which is a monophonic thing. We have all these drum synth things, which is cool. And we have sampler, but we don't have any sort of like polyphonic thing. And I just think that's kind of frustrating. So you're stuck working with presets. And whatever it is that the preset exposes to you in terms of that. So, yeah. Let's go over to group. Just to show, like, we have now a pattern on this. So pattern right there. We're eventually going to organize these into scenes. You can see scene 1 was something that we're building right now. So we'll be able to put patterns into scenes and move between those scenes, which is a great performative thing to be able to do. It's cool. So group C, get out of here. And let's go ahead and start some drums. I'm going to go to the browser and I'm going to go to groups and I'm going to go to kits. And I'm going to go to see, and here's another thing that I'm not super stoked on when it comes to the machine. So, okay, there's different ways to think about like the taxonomy of instruments. And especially when you are working with something that is all basically presets that you can edit. I mean, obviously with sampler, in here, you can add your own stuff, and that's great. But everything else is kind of like, you know, pre-made and waiting for you to find. And Native Instruments has done their absolute best job that I think they could do so far, where they attempt to define categories for you to be able to drill down into various things to help it be easier to find. So for instance, in kits here, which is going to be my drum kits, I have acoustic kit, analog kit, artist, digital, drum synth, melodic, perk, produced, special, urban, and vinyl. Very few of these are actually helpful in terms of like actually drilling down into what I want to find right now, which is going to be a particular type of sound. I'd say that like urban, because it defines a genre, is somewhat useful. Vinyl, I think, is somewhat useful. An acoustic is somewhat useful, as is perk. But the rest of these don't tell you shit about what is going on under the hood of these kits. So there's going to be, unfortunately, a fair amount of digging for kits and stuff, unless you make your own, that is just inherent to the taxonomy that Native Instruments has decided to use in this. It is what it is. I mean, there's still a lot of amazing sounds on here, but like analog kit doesn't tell me anything. I don't know where to start with this. So we're going to go with digital kit. I do like that one. I'm going to go ahead and start adding some stuff to favorites while we're doing this, because I really want to come back to some of these. Let's try this one, because this sort of has that 80s sound to it that I want for this this track. Okay, so we are not going to use that. Let's go ahead and clear some of these off. So we can hit erase, I think. All right, let's give it a try. I don't need saturation on that. Okay, let's give this a try. So what I've been doing with these things is like, especially with drums, is I'll make like a super basic kick snare, and then I will go into pattern and I'll duplicate this, and then I'll start adding stuff to it. So now we're on the second pattern for this, and I will add some hi-hats. Actually, let's use note repeat for this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy pattern. And duplicate that. What else can we add? We got our... What's next, baby? How about some bass? What else could we do to this? I don't think we need a sidechain on that. I think let's going to go to group E, and we're going to add a bass to go along with that. And we will use the bass synth for this. So what would be really cool up in some of these things too is like LFOs. We don't really have any way to modulate things except for through automation. One of the things I really, really like about pretty much everything else I own is the ability to choose a parameter and set something to modulate it. I know that's never been part of the Mashine ecosystem, like MIDI effects, but man, that would be super, super, super fantastic. We have a couple groups and patterns, and we have the ability now to make some scenes. We have to like choose patterns to go in. So let's go into ideas, and you can see we have 4 kit patterns, and everything else is 1. So I don't think I want these two. Pattern 1, pattern 1, pattern 2, and we'll add this, I guess. And then for scene 3, we'll do this and this and this. And let's add some more instruments. Actually, let's make a new pattern for our bass synth over here. So we'll come out of ideas, go to here, and go to pattern, and make 2, and go back to our keyboard. We now have this as part of it. So let's go into our groups, and I want to add sort of a high thing, like a little solo top thing before we get into like the main beat. So I'm getting a little tired of that chord progression, but I think we can get away with doing a little bit more stuff with it. So let's add one more group, and let's add like an arpeggiated top line to this, so that we can get that nice like sort of like groove thing, this sort of like 4 on the floor synthwave thing. Actually, I have a better idea. We're going to undo that. So I like that kick. What we're going to do is we're going to add a bigger kick up here. So let's go into browser, and let's go to sounds. Actually, you know what? We can probably get away with the drum synth for this. Let's go to kick, drum synth, and see what we can get away with. I'm going to stick an EQ on here in case we need it, and let's put a maximizer on here. Okay, so now what I want to do is want to go back into some of these other groups. So like this friend right here, and I want to go into my plugin instance to that compressor, and instead of the original kick, I want to choose that new kick that I made. So I can get that nice pump, you know? We'll do the same thing for our chords. So let's go into compressor. Cool, I like that vibe. That's dope. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that thing that I was talking about. Not gonna lie, that sounds pretty fucking good. Can I see the keyboard while I do this? Sure can. All right, so we start on F, and then we go up to G, and then A. Let's give this a try. I want you to take note that I am at about 90% CPU. In fact, I am going over 90% CPU at some points, which kind of sucks. This is one of those tracks that I really, really like to layer a lot. So I'm going to have to be smart if I want to keep on working on this from a like adding some more things thing. I'll have to like make sure that I only have some instruments playing at once, or I'm going to have to bump some stuff down. So let's make a new scene. We're going to keep pattern 5. I like that. And then the rest of this we're going to change. Cool. Cool, I like that. Next up would be, that's our drums. A little weird that it doesn't actually show the value changing in real time. Very strange to me. Don't understand that. Our solo thing here desperately needs a sidechain. I'm sorry. I know it's cliche, but what are you going to do? So that's it. That's all for the video. This has been recording for over an hour or so, and my cat is now jumping up on me. Come here. Say hello. There you go. Cat. I have voiced some opinions. I've had a good time. Yeah, it's a little bamboozling, some of the workflow things that I run into and explain in this. But overall, I'm just going to keep on trying to see what I can get out of this machine. Haha. And I hope you join me. Tips and tricks, go in the comments. Thank you for watching. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.